guys, welcome to a very special episode of the Art Studio just for kindergarten. So last week you guys rocked the frogs. I loved seeing all the different kinds and they looked realistic. Way to go. So this week our animal is going to be, it flies. It's an insect. It has 6 legs, even though sometimes you think it doesn't. We have him at Heathwood, definitely because this is part of our habitat study, and it comes from a caterpillar. You guessed it, a good old butterfly. So we're going to learn how to draw realistic butterflies. So we're going to go and look at not realistic ones and some realistic ones. Okay, guys, let's get creative. Okay, we're going to start with non-realistic and cartoon butterflies. You notice this guy is even holding a flower with gloved hands. We know butterflies don't do that. Look at the cartoon eyes and the colors that wouldn't be a butterfly. This one looks more like a peacock to me than a butterfly. Notice the curved antenna that we know that they don't have, and a nose and a mouth. We know they have proboscis. That's how they eat. We know it's more like a straw than a smiley face. This guy has hearts on him. We know that butterflies don't have hearts. They do have patterns, but they definitely don't have hearts. This is more of a realistic butterfly shape without the eyes, but this one lacks the right body and it has hearts on it. Okay, next are, of course, oh thank goodness, realistic butterflies. You notice they have segmented bodies, they have segmented wings, and you can see the veins in the wings. I don't see any smiley faces, and I don't see any sort of gloved hands holding flowers, definitely. So these are what we're going to base and be inspired by when we draw our realistic butterflies. Okay, guys, let's get started. Okay, my kindergarten rabbits, it is time to talk art mediums and materials. So first we need to make sure we always have a piece of paper, and I always like to protect by having a scratched piece of paper underneath it, and it's kind of looking like a work of art itself. You're going to need a pencil. As always, I'm going to draw with a Sharpie so you guys can see. But I would love for you to always start with a pencil just in case you need to erase or you make a mistake, which we often do in art, and that's what's awesome about it. I am going to use, of course, a Sharpie, but if you don't have one or your parents don't let you use them, you may use a black washable marker, or if you have a flare pen or any kind of pen you can outline would be awesome. If you don't have any of those, that is all right. I'm going to color in again, just like we did with our frogs, with colored pencils. Our colored pencils, we're going to need kind of our orange colors because we're going to draw a monarch butterfly today. I also am thinking if you don't have colored pencils, you can always use markers or crayons. Crayons might actually be better than markers this time because we're going to talk about how we can change colors and values using how we bear down on something. Okay, now that was a lot. So go get your paper, pencil, markers, and colored pencils and come back to me. Great work. Okay, now that was a lot before, so let's get started. When we want to think about our butterfly, we are going to make them symmetrical. So we've used that word a couple of times, but we're going to review it. So symmetry is when we fold something in half, like if I fold this paper, and I open it back up, that this side is going to be equal to this side. So a butterfly is symmetrical. So I always like, when I draw a butterfly, is to go ahead and do that, to go ahead and fold my paper. So I have this line to think about, that if I draw it on one side, it's going to have to be the same on this side. So that just means when you cut something in half, this side's going to look just like this side. Okay. So our butterfly, we're not, again, doing smiley faces. Even though I love a good happy butterfly, we're going to make a butterfly like it would be in nature. So no, smiley faces are, pink polka dots or purple polka dots. There are different kind of butterflies. So if you can even look at, let your parents help you research different butterflies to see which ones you want to draw in color. But we're going to do a monarch butterfly today just because those are the kinds that Miss Natalie usually lets you guys release, and I think they're really pretty. Okay, so grab your pencil and let's get started. We're going to start with the body of our butterfly first. And you say, what? That's just a circle. Or that's just one little thing. Well, butterflies, just like different insects, have different parts of their body. And I know your teachers have probably gone through this, but let's go through it as we go. So we know we're going to draw the head. And the head is just going to be a circle. So I'm going to do that in the middle of the paper with that line, that crease that I've already made. And I'm going to go ahead and color it in. You're using a pencil. Do you color it in? No way. You wait till our art mediums to color it in. Okay, next job is that we need to make the thorax. The thorax is in the middle, and it's more of a skinny U shape. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a skinny U, just like that. Okay? So down and up and meet. We don't want it to be bigger than our circle, wider than our circle. We kind of want it in the middle of that crease again. I'm going to color mine in, just because I'm using the Sharpie. Perfect. Now we have the head, the thorax, and now we need the abdomen. We have abdomens, but they're in the middle. It's funny because their abdomen actually is down below. So let's make that abdomen. And it's just another smaller U. I kind of always like to make mine a little bit more pointed at the bottom. So after I make the U, I just go make a little point at the bottom. And again, I'm just coloring in because I have a Sharpie. So we have the body. We have the 3 parts. Now let's add the antenna. So since I know I have that line, I'm going to make it. Now I do love it when we make curly cues on our antennae, when we make cartoons or something fun with a butterfly. Well, now we're going to make it more realistic. So it comes out and it goes up. Goes out, and again, I want to do it just the same on that side and up. So now we have the body. Now we know we have different parts that we're not adding because you can't really see it on the way that we drew. If we drew from the side, we would see his legs. But since we're straight on looking, we don't see the legs. And we know they have 6 legs, just like every insect. Okay, so let's now start with the wings. If you need to pause and draw the body, that is fine. Take some pause breaks. Let's all be successful. Okay, so if you notice, when I draw, I'm going to draw one side, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side, so I don't forget. So if you see, I'm going to always remind myself so I can remember, because sometimes I don't do it the right way. So I want to see if you guys can. So we're going to make a line that goes up for these. So we have the 4 wings and the bottom wings. So we want to do the first wings first. So we're going to do the top wings. Okay, so we're going to go right about right here, and we're going to go up, just like that. So I'm going to try to match it on this side, but going opposite way. Okay, so I'm going to take my pen, I'm going to jump to the side exactly where I started, and I'm going to go up just like I did. Okay, perfect. If it's a little bit longer, that's okay. Symmetry is hard to draw, so that's why sometimes even when we did this, we would paint one side and squish it, but we're doing it a different way because we're at home. Okay, so now we have that part. Now we need to do the bottom. So we're going to go about halfway in the middle, about right here, and we're going to do our bottom wing top. So we're going to come out and down, just like we did on that side. So I'm going to try to make sure I do the same thing. There we go. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome work. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit more detail so we can figure out our lines. So we know our butterfly is going to kind of go in, so we're going to make kind of like that at the top. It's kind of an indentation even. That's a kind of a big word for just goes eep a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but instead I'm going to go this way. Awesome. Okay, we're going to also now add the bottom part and the top part of this wing. So this wing is kind of the top, but it comes out. So we're going to do right here, just kind of a curved line right there. We're going to come do it on the same side on this side. So this is the outline of the bottom of this top wing. Okay, so now we're going to do this at the bottom. So we know exactly where we're going. We're going to come out, and we're going to curve, curve. Okay, so now we kind of have our outlines. Now we want to make sure we connect them, of course, right? Because butterflies just don't have invisible lines right there. So how we're going to do that is kind of a jagged line. I like to call it, I know it's kind of weird, a jagged line. So the jagged line is kind of just goes, kind of a squiggle line. Squiggle line. There we go. So now the bottom is a little bit different. I want to make it come out, kind of dip like this. And then since I made that line right there, I'm going to come out and do the dip too. But again, there we go, because I want them to kind of be the same. Okay, and I'm going to make my, of course, squiggle right here, squiggle right here. Got it? Okay, so now we're going to make these more of a line down, and I want these to be connected. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take it and I'm going to go down. I'm going to make this one go down too. So now we have our shape of our butterfly. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 wings. Now we need to do the fun part, which are the details inside. Ooh, I forgot to connect all of this. Now I need to look at a monarch. So monarchs have the veins inside, wing veins, which are kind of the outline, the black outlines. And then they have kind of dots and spots at it. So I'm going to make one big spot right here. I'm going to make sure I do it with its friend right here. Okay? And then I'm going to make a sideways oval like that. And a sideways oval like that. Again, every time I do it on one side, I come and do it on this one. If I do it on this side, I come do the other side. It's kind of like a fun dance. Okay. And then there are dots all around the edges of the wings. So one. If I do one on that side, I do one on that side. Same thing. Oh, I did two. Okay? So now we're going to add the wings, the veins, the wing veins, which is kind of cool because we have veins right in our body and they have wing veins in their wings. So let's do that. So we're going to come and we're going to go out like that. Okay? So you're going to do the same hook shape on this side. Perfect. And then I'm going to come and do kind of like a sideways heart, isn't it? Okay. And then one more. Now I want to close that off, so I come all the way to the middle. All the way to the middle. Perfect. So, kind of looks like, I don't know, a bird foot maybe? I don't know what it looks like. Okay, so let's add the vein parts into it now. So I'm going to make one line like this, because remember they match still. And then I'm going to start making a line that goes up, a line that goes up. Come down, come down. Come down, come down. And then I just start making, I'm going to make kind of a curve right there, So any line I make, I want to do that. So I'm just making the veins right now in the lines. So if you notice, I'm kind of leaving that one bare, not have too many lines right there, and more lines in the bottom too. Again, they should just meet and be the same. Okay, so we've got the top two wings kind of done. Kind of happy with them. If I want to come, I'm going to maybe make a couple more dots right there. Can't have too many dots, can you? Okay, so let's do the bottom wings now. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to do the same thing, but this is going to be a little different. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take the outline of this wing and I'm just going to go leave a space and make more of a circle, okay? So when we're making like cartoon butterflies, that's usually how the shape of our wing is going to be. But so we're going to make a cartoon wing inside of our realistic wing. Pretty silly, right? So we have our two sides. Again, they're not going to be perfect, but that's okay. And then on the outside of the wing, I kind of like to move my paper this way. I'm going to make the veins go that way. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip it. Perfect. Just like that. Okay? Now we're going to add some more. So you guys kind of can make how you like it to look like. I'm going to come out, but again, if I do it on one side, I've got to do it on the other side. That's right. Okay, so we kind of have the inside veins on this one. So let's add now the dots. Again, just on the outside. When you color in, it's going to be a little, you're going to figure out a little more what it's going to look like when I start coloring it in. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to color the black parts of the monarch butterfly, which are the outside part of the wings, not the white dots and not the inside, just this part. Okay, so I'm just going to use my marker. So we're going to freeze because we did the drawing part, and now it is time for you guys to outline and get ready to color in, okay? So take a pause it, and let's start coloring. So you should have an outline, beautiful butterfly now. Okay, so let's start coloring. So you're gonna use black, you can use your black marker, you can use your black colored pencil, black crayon to color in the black parts of your wings. And you also can go ahead and color in your head. What part is this? Thorax, that's right, and abdomen. Woohoo! And make sure those antennas are outlined too, because we like those to pop. It'd be bad if they did not have antennas, right? Okay, so just keep on coloring in. And again, like I said, later on you can go back and you guys can maybe even Google or search some other butterflies that you want to draw. If you say, hey, I know a really like a painted lady or a tiger swallowtail butterfly I want to draw, go ahead and do that. And I want to see those still too. But we're just doing a monarch together. Okay, so now I'm doing the bottom wing. Same thing. I'm not coloring inside of this part because that's going to be our color part. And I'm not coloring inside of our white dots. I love the sound of a Sharpie coloring in. I don't know if you do. I think it's nice and soothing. Okay, so I'm still coloring this part. Awesome job. Let's see. Has anyone seen any butterflies outside their house? I have not. I've seen hornets and wasps. I've seen dragonflies, which I've been super happy about. The hornets and the wasps, not so much. Okay, so the same thing on the side. I'm doing a fast coloring just so it's not so boring to watch, but you guys need to take your time. Remember, if you're coloring with a colored pencil, you're going to have to bear down, which means push down a little harder than you normally would. So we look at the monarch. It's very dark. The black is not so light. It's like a gray. It's a dark black. Also, I always enjoyed learning about when I was in kindergarten. Kindergarten teacher, I loved learning that the butterflies actually have scales. Their wings have scales. I thought that was so cool. And we used to look at the microscope really, really, really zoomed close up to see all the different details. I thought that was super neat. You might go look those up. Also, I think it's really cool that ugly caterpillars, well, some caterpillars are more ugly than others, turn into beautiful butterflies. And I think that's neat. Okay, so we're finishing coloring all our black wings. So now it's time for our colors. And how I'm going to do it is I'm going to use 2 different shades, which means 2 different kinds of orange. And I always like to test it. I'm going to test it on my test sheet. Okay, I have that orange and I have a lighter orange because we're going to do a lighter and a dark. Now, if you don't have a light and dark, it's all about the pressure. So if you notice on my scratch paper, if I bear down really hard, that's a dark color. If I do it light, it changes. It's called a value. You change the value of it by changing. This is the same exact colored pencil, but you can change the color by the way you bear down. So if you did it medium, it would get darker. The more you push down, the darker it gets. The lighter you do, the lighter it gets. So we're going to have a darker part of orange, and I'm going to actually use 2 different shades, or you can do it the way we talked about. And the same thing goes with crayons. You can change the value or the shade. Okay, so I like it to be darker as you're closer to the butterfly's body. So since we already outlined, we don't have to worry about coloring really in the lines. We just want to make sure we color just this part. And I'm going to push down hard and get kind of just the beginning part of the wings coming out of the body. Do the same thing on the side again because it's symmetrical. That would just mean the colors would have to be the same too, wouldn't it? And I'm pushing down really hard. And if you want to play with the value of your colored pencils on a scratch piece of paper, it's really actually fun to do, to see how many different shades you can get out of one colored pencil. You guys are learning a lot of good stuff because that's normally not really what we talk about until like 3rd grade. You guys are awesome. Okay, so I have all the darker parts. Let's use, we could either not bear down so hard and do a lighter, just like that, or you can pick up a whole new different colored pencil and use that one. So I'm going to do a different, lighter shade of my orange colored pencils. See how it gets darker as you get into the body, lighter as you get to the end. And I just like it because I like to color in dark, so that's why I'm going to 2 different shades. And I kind of like to go, I don't leave any space. I like to kind of go over our darker marks so it kind of blends in together nicely. Okay, and one last one. And guess what? We are done. You guys rocked it. I would love to hear 3 things, again, that describe your wonderful butterfly. Okay? So send them my way. Awesome work. Your teachers are gonna be like, what happened? Are these 3rd grade drawings? So great work. Keep it up.